residue management and sustainable agriculture more inclusive. First of all, let me invite Dr. Abid Shule from SDPI give the welcome remarks. Dr. Abid, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jing. But will it be appropriate if we can invite the speakers, including you, to take seats? Otherwise, it would look like I'm just talking to empty chairs. So if Dr. Jing, Irfan Chattha, Rajan Ratna, Baba Shahbaz, Dushni, Paras, and all others who are speakers in this panel, if you can join the stage. Please. Come.
Okay. So, Mr. Rajan Sudishranna, and second, I would like to invite Dr. Tusini Wirakon, then Dr. Paras Parel.
Everyone is here now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now everybody is there.
Thank you.
If you would like
and
to,
please forgive me.
Quickly tell who is who so that the audience, they can actually relate.
Okay. The first one is Mr. Irfan Ahmed Chanta
SDPI.
from SDPI. The second is Dr. Rajan Sudish Ranna. The third one is our Dr. Sushni.
And Rajan Ratna is from UNESCAPE, from India, and from South and West Asia and Pacific as well?
No, only South.
Southwest Asia. So he's a director of UNESCAP in Delhi. Then we have Dr. Dushni Virakun. She is executive director of Institute of Policy Studies in Sri Lanka. Then we have Dr. Paras Kharal. He is executive director of South Asia Watch on Economics and Environment and Trade in Kathmandu, Nepal. And then?
And Mr. Anjum Ali Bata from...
Anjum Ali Batra would be online.
Oh, sorry. So the next one will be Dr. Baba Shahbaz from UAF.
I think before Dr. Babar, sir, आपका नाम अगर आप मुझे बता... Sorry? Zawar Kazmi. So there would be Mr. Zawar Kazmi and Dr. Babar Shahbaz, who's professor and dean at University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. Then is Mr. Imran Sheikh, who's representing the rice exporters in Pakistan. Imran, who is next to you, the chair, empty chair. Osman Manzoor Sabi would be joining us. And sir, the big panel, yeah. So we have, and then online from Punjab and Haryana, we have if I can read correctly.
They are three farmers from Punjab region, from Indian side. Umandra and Rupsi, as well as Karan, is here.
So thank you very much, Dr. Jing. As you could see, it's a big panel, and the purpose here is I also welcome Dr. Anjum Batra, the former Director General Agriculture, Punjab, who is also now at a senior level government responsibility for agriculture. So as you see, it's a big panel, and you would have realized that the pattern and the format is not about speeches, it's about dialogue. The whole purpose of this panel, and it was perceived at least 6 months ago, but today our friends and guests sitting in Indian side of Punjab and those who are joining us from Pakistani side of Punjab, they can tell us how smog is affecting them. And they can also tell us that how air pollution and air quality is affecting each one of us. So the purpose of this panel that we organized in anticipation of the fifth season in calendar that have very silently creeped into our calendars, which is smog season. We thought that why not to have an open dialogue and discussion between our farmers from both sides of Punjab, from the technical experts on both sides, from UN organization responsible to provide technical support and policy support on this very issue. And of course, the garnish on topping is our two guests from other parts of South Asia, Dr. Dushni Virakun and Dr. Paras Khan, who after listening to all of you would be able to add their experiences of Sri Lanka and Nepal. But the purpose of this panel is to have a candid discussion. Now, when we talk of smog, first thing first, why it comes in winter, and as our experts, they will be telling you that it's the day temperature, if night temperature variation that somehow affects the air circulation, and when air circulation stops, the air pollutants which are there, they get suspended there. And that's what turns the invisible air pollution into smog. So while sitting in Rawalpindi or Islamabad, perhaps we shouldn't be in false sense of security that the air quality is quite good here. If you look at your smartphone apps and compare the air quality, you will find, although not as bad as Lahore or Delhi or Mumbai or Karachi or Dhaka is, but the air quality of Islamabad and Rawalpindi is affected. So in our parts, it remains somehow invisible, but in Punjab, in Indian Punjab and in Haryana, it really gets the shape of smog, where it has then all side effects, which I'll leave my experts to tell us. I'll just, the three primary causes of this air pollution that we need to identify, and so that in the panel discussion, we could identify whether we are blaming and accusing the crop residue burning out of proportion, or it is really this crop residue burning that causes this air pollution and smog. So many research studies, they will be telling you that the first and foremost cause of air pollution in our side of Punjab is vehicular emission, then it's industrial emission, and then it's waste burning and crop residue burning. And we will listen from Dr. Ajay Ratna, what is his experience of this smog on this air pollution on other side of the border. And as the title is From Fragility to Resilience, so we really want to think of ways how we can actually join our heads and hearts and hands and try to think that how to tackle it collectively, building a consensus. So while we can still keep our political differences intact, and we can keep all our ideological positions intact, but I think when it is the matter of existence, perhaps on that particular issue, we need to think of any possible collaboration. And that's what this panel is about. So over to you, Dr. Jain. Thank you.
Right, Dr. Rajan Sudesh Rana, give us opening remarks. Over to you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank Dr. Avid Suleri for giving us this opportunity to collaborate on behalf of UNESCAP with the SDPI and getting the floor in this Sustainable Development Conference for doing this panel. This panel we are doing because of our past work, which we have worked for Bangladesh, Nepal, India, and Pakistan on crop burning or straw burning. And then we looked at, basically, when we started, we looked at what are the mechanized solutions to these problems. And these studies looked at the government policies, and then it looked at what are the subsidies, what are the incentives, and what are the punitive measures which are being taken by the government. And then we started doing consultations, and then we got another side of the story, and that was the story of the farmers as to why they are not in a position to get into the mechanization, why they are not, or why these policies are not very successful at the ground. That brought us to see if we can be a bridging link between the policy makers at a macro and micro level and the farmers. So as Dr. Abid said, this is the time not for us to tell, but to hear and really brainstorm how and why there are still gaps, because every government has an intention to reduce these, and not that the farmers also are happy burning these residues for their for creating the pollution. And we have heard in Delhi, schools have been closed. I was told in Lahore, schools have been closed. And the pollution now is increasing. Even the Chief Minister of Punjab in Pakistan has expressed her willingness to talk to India for getting into this, solving these problems. As I was discussing, and we discussed yesterday, climate change has no boundaries. So anything happening in one part of the world can affect others. And that is where we thought this is a good opportunity for us to get the farmers from both sides. And we are very happy that we have farmers from Pakistan and we have farmers from India who are online. And I would especially thank Umendraji, who is online, for taking this lead in bringing these dimension, agreeing to get his team cracked down to come here. Indeed, I am also thankful to all those panelists who are here to share their experience and giving us some insight. And then lastly, I'm also thankful to Lusni and Paras, who come from Institute, which is a part of our network, think tanks, but they have contributed a lot towards the regional cooperation, promoting on bridging the knowledge link between the countries. So they will have a different dimension to say. But thank you all in advance, and thank you everybody for your time. And we hope that you will find it very thought-provoking and something constructive will emanate from here. Thank you very much. Over to you, Jing.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan. So today we have distinguished panels from the government representative, from NGO leaders, academics, institutions, and most importantly, we have the representative of the farmers from both Indian and Pakistan side join us to this session. And we will explore ways to develop more programmatic policies and identify mechanized solutions for small farmers and foster collaboration among the stakeholders. And there will be 3 questions to discuss among the panels. And can you put the 3 questions on the screen? Then our panels can see and start our discussion. Thank you. So yeah, the first question Let me begin by addressing the first question to our panel. So despite of Warrior's government to introduce both incentives and penalties to address crop residue burning, and this practice persists, in your view, how can policies around crop residue management be made more programmatic, inclusive, and easily implementable for farmers on the ground? And also, what steps would help ensure that the perspective and challenges of small-scale farmers are incorporated? So our panels will come to give you view on these questions. May I get the view from Mr. Ifan Ahmed Chatta? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cheng. Just to give a little background about our study as well that we did on the same topic. This approach of mechanization, it's not something coming out of the air. Actually, we did consult some farming communities as well as some agriculture experts. So the only, you can say the only viable solution that was offered by most of the respondents was that there needs to be rapid mechanization or introduction or scaling up of machines that could help in dealing with the crop residue instead of burning it. So and since I belong to a farming family myself as well, if we go back to the times of Green Revolution, initially in first few years, by the time the tractor manufacturing or harvester manufacturing was indigenized, there was a bit of slow scaling up of tractors and other machineries that were used in the farming. So I guess we are in the same kind of scenario in terms of mechanization for dealing with crop residue burning as well. In recent years, we have seen especially and within the mechanization, one of the approach that was advocated by some of the experts was the shared based approach, like sharing the machine. And it is working in some of the other agriculture manufacturing activities as well. For example, now in the past few years, the farmers, they are renting the wheat harvesters in groups, and similarly the packaging of silage, that is also being scaled up in different parts of Punjab as well. So we do hope that there is an appetite for the scaling up of this mechanization approach, but at the same time, the government, it will have to adopt a very balanced approach, a carrot and stick approach. And given the overall, macroeconomic scenario of Pakistan, right now, there are lots of sticks that are being hurled towards the farmers. For example, I think there is a matter of time when agriculture tax may be imposed on farmers, and especially the water rates, the Abiana, it has already been raised up in Punjab. So there are lots of other sticks as well, which the farmers are facing. So I guess we will have to offer some more carrot-based approach, like offering incentives to the private sector, and also raising awareness among the farmers as well, because awareness is very important. The farmers, if you go and talk to the farmers, especially in these particular districts where the smog issue is most prevalent, the Central Punjab, the development also never comes without any cost. So the government, it offered lots of mobility options, like there was road construction. So that's why now there has been a lot of migration from those rural communities to urban communities, and there is a kind of labor shortage there as well. So this is why the only viable option with the farmers they are left with is just burning that crop residue. If they have a good supply of labor, which is also cheap, so I think then they could take care of the crop residue in some other way instead of burning it. So this labor displacement, which is a positive outcome of development, but it has a cost as well over there as well, because of lot of labor shortages. They are more inclined to burn the residue instead of using some mechanized approaches or using just manual labor approaches. So that's my point.
Thank you, Dr. Ifran. So I can see the questions already displayed on the screen. And let me invite the next panel, Zawar Kazmi. Can you give your view on these questions? And you have 4 minutes.
Thank you very much. Zawar Kazmi, I'm from PepsiCo International, working in Pakistan as head of. Probably mobile is causing some issue. So regarding the soil, the crop residue management, the most important thing that we need to understand from the country perspective is the organic matter challenge in our soil. So ideally, any residue should go back into the soil because our soil health is not good. The second option will be then to create the alternate solutions. PepsiCo in Pakistan, with having a big footprint for potato, we are now introducing different solutions to the growers. The first priority is to put these residues back into the soil. So through, in collaboration with NUST, we are developing a biochar project, which is a pilot in Pakistan. The objective is to have these residues properly burnt in a controlled way and put it back into the soil so that we can maintain the soil health. The second challenge is basically our organic matter is significantly less. It's less than 1%, even up to 0.5% in our soils. We are now building the capability at a controlled level in collaboration with GDA, which is a Global Development Alliance, and in collaboration with CABI, to develop our growers to build different type of compost from these residues in Pakistan, so that we can bring back the fertility of the soil. Beyond that, our one of the factory is operating on the biomass fuel, which is a less preferred option versus putting it back into the soil. But as of today, when we collect all these residues, put it into the biomass boiler, operate our factory, it's an effective solution for the manufacturing. But it still have a big area to work because our residues are not still being collected, managed in a way that we can operate our biomasses in our factories in a right way. So PepsiCo, these are few initiatives that we are doing in terms of capability building, providing the initial infrastructure, but it's just a drop in the ocean. And still there is a big opportunity that we all need to work together to utilize these residues in a best way, which can avoid different challenges that we are facing on the climate. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one, I would like to invite Dr. Baba Shahbaz. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for this very relevant and timely debate. In fact, responding to the first questions, we have a lot of policies and acts as far as the control of air pollution is concerned. We have Pakistan Environmental Protection Act in 1997. Then we have National Clean Air Policy in 2023, approved by the National Federal Ministry. Then we have most recently National Adaptation Plan by the Federal Ministry of Climate Change, in which the issue of clean air and the burning of crop residue has been addressed, and Smoke Commission was instituted in Punjab in 2017, and the first ever smoke policy was announced. And most recently we have the green lockdown in Punjab and the closure of schools. Just today a notification has been issued in Lahore, Faisalabad and many other cities. But despite of all these policies and legal mechanism, as one of our panelists said, that there are more sticks than carrots. So we have the fines, we have the penalties, but still, yesterday I was traveling from Faisalabad to Islamabad on a motorway, and I saw at least 8 to 10 different spots, places where the farmers were putting fire to the leftover crop residue of the rice, and the whole family of the farmer was there, the women and children. Then it was a very large area in some places. So our studies shows uh, that the farmer would require at least 30 to 40 US dollars per acre for the removal of crop residue. So they feel it a very easy and quick method of burning the crop. So there is need to tackle this issue by adopting the short-term, medium-term, and long-term strategies. So the short-term strategies would be, of course, the in situ and ex situ management of crops. And in fact, the background of our studies that the SDPI, UF, and Indian partner CSDR, they conducted a study and we developed a report which is now titled "The Air We Share." So in this report, we emphasize the integrated and multidimensional and approach to tackle the crop residue, the short term, medium, and long term. The short term would be, of course, using the crop residue for the different alternate uses, and the mechanical option is there. But as we know that our farmers are mostly the small landholder, they cannot afford the machinery, or even they cannot afford the rent of the machinery. So there is need to provide the farmer with the subsidized sort of machinery on the rent basis so that they can uh, tackle the crop residue. And the second option is that the crop residue can be used, it is a medium term option that we propose. An alternate industry can be developed, a whole value chain can be developed by using the crop residue for the, for example, for the packaging material for the paper and cardboard industry, but still it would need some more work to do. And the long-term solution is, uh, of course, it is the a shift in the cropping pattern, which is rather challenging, shifting away from traditional rice and wheat rotation to some other more environmental friendly and water friendly crops. So, but still it is a long term
Uh,
option. And our report also suggests a combined strategy by India and Pakistan, because we are sharing the same air regardless of the border. So we need to adopt the integrated approach to address the issue of crop residue sustainably.
Thank you, Dr. Baba. And the next one, let me invite Mr. Imran.
Thank you. As my intro, I am also serving for FAO Pakistan and also indirectly working on rice with Asian Development Bank. And we are working on low carbon rice. I just give you some insights from the field. And my talk is little bit informal. Have you ever thought why farmer is burning the residue? Either he is enjoying, either he is making some, he is stupid that he is burning residue. Have you ever think why he is burning? Because he has no solution that is fit to its farm. He is not so stupid that he doesn't know that it is polluting the environment. Second thing, how much the portion of the crop residue in your total smog, you will see more, less than 10%. As an agriculture, it is total 18%. And in 18, it is only 10%. I am not advocating that farmers are doing a good work, but I'm saying that solutions are imposed that are not work at the farm level. I will give you some examples that we have some fundamental issues that we are unable to provide rice specialized harvesters that cut the rice at the level that he doesn't need any to accumulate, like Dr. Babar Sheh, like to accumulate or to burn. Not at all. We are unable to provide harvesters. And we are saying actually awareness is a big issue. Farmers' adoption rate is very slow. I am not of the view. If your intervention have some commercial sense, what's about the solar tube wells? It is just like a fire in the wild. What's about the other intervention? The only intervention which is fit for your project, which is fit for your policies, but they are actually failed to work at the farm. And you are actually comparing with 5 rupees matchbox with 20,000 advisory. You should run the super seeder that will burn the fuel of 10,000, and you will also have to manage about 10,000 more. So 20,000 activity to a farmer, which is small farmer, which is unable. And second, what's about your fuel grade? What's about your industry? Have you ever see? No. And what's about that your PM 2.5, 200, and then it shoot 1900? Have you ever think it is all about? So we are discussing that winds are going from either from Pakistan, Punjab to Indian Punjab, or winds are coming from their side. It is not a view. Winds are coming from both sides. But unfortunately, our rice harvest is a little bit late, and in Indian side, harvest is a little bit early. So it is a common issue, and there is a common solution. But at the end, as a exporter point of view, we are in the industry. Our consumers are demanding that food safety doesn't mean how much pesticide you have applied. It also about the public health. If your rice is actually polluting the environment in terms of methane emissions, we have a solution for carbon crediting. And in terms of rice residue for pollution, low carbon rice have a complete standard. So I am covering only the rice so that you can know that it is very easy to eat biryani, but it is very difficult to grow rice. So we should learn, and unfortunately, as a country of, we are not respecting agriculture. We like food, but we don't like agriculture. Because I just share you two thoughts. Have you ever met any farmer who want his son should be a farmer? Or it is a least option for any family if you are not good advocate, if you are not good teacher, if you don't do anything, you should be a farmer. And might be in rural, you knows that as a penalty, you should be a farmer. And second thing is that as a risk, that as a farmer perspective, as a policies, we should grow rice with less water. But have you ever calculated 1 kg of lint, how much water is consumed? I'm not saying that we should use more water, but don't share such sweeping statements. We are actually exporting the virtue of water to the world. Have you ever seen the why rice is niche of that area? Because in that area we have 6 flood drains. Nothing can be grown except rice. For that reason, basmati is in collar track. And you know that still wheat is the lowest in all over the Punjab is the Gujranwala district, core rice area. So you should know about the farm dynamics. Farmers are ready to interact with you. And last one, your solution is like happy seeder, your mulcher, your shredder. Okay, first of all, residue should be less. You should just remove some residue, then it will work. Okay, so it will only work in dry condition,
Mr.
not in
Imran?
wet. So all these are the juggleries where farmers caught,
Mr. Imran?
farmers unable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So next, I would like to invite Dr. Razia Safdal. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm from the health background, so I will talk about more about the farmers' health and air pollution. I think, as he rightly said, that we should talk about talk to the farmer. Farmer, it's if we really want to get have the change in this pattern, we need to involve the farmer in all policies. So when the policies are made, the farmers are not in the front row, so that we should ask them what they really want. And the farmers are really wise, and they are not and they know how to deal with these things. To to small scale. And we are talking about the farmers who cannot afford the different systems, different alternate technologies to, for the health, I will talk about the awareness of the farmers. If we go around that, there is an economic loss also for due to this stubble burning, due to the air pollution, which they affect their activity as well as their health and the quality of life, and their particularly for the women in agriculture. That is not only that woman, but if she's on the family way or she's pregnant, her next generation is also affected. So that is one thing. And so from the awareness, the farmer should be, and that is when they are burning the stubble, obviously someone is burning. So he or she is at the risk of injuries, or she is at the risk of disease, which she's directly having the smoke in her lungs or in his lungs. So that is also a point where we can convince them, or we can talk to them as an awareness point, entry point. And then that is the manual burning. So I think this is the information about the air pollution is very, and their health impacts according to the region is very important, and in their own language or in their own, that is important to tell them that this burning is like, for example, this smog in Lahore is affecting the children and the women and children more. So that's why the schools are closed. So when it comes to that point, then that can be effective way to convince them. And the second is the household air pollution, which if as alternative, if they are doing burning outside, they are burning this crop residue at home also to get the fuel. So that is very that smoke is affecting their producing the household air pollution, which is where the PM 2.5 level is very high, and that can affect the health of the children basically, and that more children are being sick, and they are needing the health care, and that is the economic loss as well. So that can also be made. And then the house, then in our side of like more many of the people are affected by the smog, or because of this double. So health system resilience is also to be included in this policy. So health in all policies is very important to even make farmers aware, as well as the other, I think all the other actions which will be, and the due to health, the economic losses are best, are good point of entry to convince. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Razia. So now, can we invite our online participants to give their view? And I would like to invite Mr. Umendra Dut from the KT Virasan Mission, India.
Yeah,
Mr.
thank you.
Umendra, the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Namaskar to everyone, my brothers and sisters from Pakistan, Lanka, and other countries. See, Earth is the one family, it's the one Earth and one family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in Indian systems, we call it whole Earth is the one family. So, as the Chief Minister of Pakistan, Punjab, Mariam Nawaz, she has said that air doesn't need any visa or passport. So we have shared future, shared water, and shared air. We have shared breathe. हमारी सांसें भी सांझी हैं. So I think that I couldn't recall the name of the earlier speaker, and I think that he is speaking our language about when gentlemen spoke about that farmers, why farmers are burning. Farmers know that it is harmful, but still if they are burning, and we should not burden everything upon the farmers. So we in Indian Punjab side, working in Punjab, Haryana, both states, on this straw management issue. According to our experience and what we see in last 20 years, that is not the issue of machines or issue of any incentive subsidy. Though machines and subsidy and policies matters, but basically it is the issue of behavior and environmental psychology. So how we have built up the psychology of the farmer? Because in last 20 years or in more than 20 years, last 50 years, we have glorified the green revolution, the intensive agriculture so much. So big tractor, the tractor with higher horsepowers, more pesticides, more chemicals, and more yields. So everything, every thrust was thrown upon the more yields and more profitability. And the farmers, those are getting more profits, they were honored by the prime minister, chief minister, everywhere. So conserving soil, conserving tree line, conserving biodiversity, and the conserving the life of other creatures, it doesn't get any attention or reward or recognition. So I think the 4 pillars what we call in Kheti Virasat mission, that environmental and behavioral transformation, it is regarding the environmental psychology. This is the point number 1. 2, the soil health, about soil health, my brothers from Pakistan also talked about that. So similar thing is in India, Indian Punjab, we have only 0.2% soil carbon. Our soils are virtually become dead. And the factor productivity, the urea and DAP we are using in last 20 years, sorry, it is a clear indication that our soils are going to die. So soil health is a major issue. So better not the ex situ should be the last resort. In situ, to incorporate the this crop residue, whether through the composting or with some other machines, or even without machines, but very simple machines. The Karan, my colleague Karan will tell about that. So I think soil health restoration should be the prime focus. This is the second thing. And when we talk about the soil health, we should also see the madam, earlier madam from Pakistan, my sister from Pakistan, she had talked about the groundwater also, paddy. So Punjab, at least I don't know Pakistan, Punjab geography, geology, but Indian side of Punjab, it doesn't meant for the paddy. We have exploited the groundwater, and the whole of Punjab has become the land of dark zones. We almost finished our groundwater aquifers. So this is the second thing. Then the community ownership and empowerment. See, when we go and give the lectures to the farmers, give the sermons to the farmers, okay, you should not burn the straw because you people are creating the pollution. When we say this, farmers are not happy with that narrative. So narrative change, narrative should be the change. So we in Punjab, in Kheti Virasat Mission, our area where we're working, we are trying to constitute the village level environment committees. It is our village, our environment, our responsibility. Though we will talk with the government, we will fight with the government, we will negotiate with the government, we will dialogue with the government, but it is primarily our responsibility to keep our environment healthy. So, and fourth one is the nature and farmer centric solutions. The solutions which are coming up, at least in our side of Punjab, those are coming up, only industry got the benefits. Whether it is a super seeder, happy seeder, or heavy machines, everything, only industry is getting benefits. Farmers are not getting benefits. Even in the subsidy, I think that Karan will talk about that. That a machine which is before the announcement of subsidy was 1,20,000. That day subsidy was announced, the same machine has become the costlier. It go to the 2 lakh or 2 lakh 20,000, and government is giving 1 lakh subsidy. So the subsidy is going to virtually the industry. So I think that promoting the nature and farmer-centric solution, we say organic farming, natural farming, and farmer-friendly agricultural practices should be given the topmost priority. And lastly, I would like to say that see, the behavior of farmers doesn't change when you go and give him only the lecture. Okay, you should stop the stop pollution. No, we in our side, we started honoring the farmers. Those are not burning the straw. So I think let us sit with the farmers, dialogue with the farmers, and sit in the village Chopal. We should go to the village, sit in the village with them, and discuss with them. They know much more better than any agriculture scientist of any agriculture university, whether in Punjab, India or Pakistan, Lanka or any other country. So farmers know better about them, about their land, their soil, their productivity. So I think dialoguing with the farmer at their level, it should be given priority, and policies should be made according to their requirements, their thought. And then last one, I would say that your question regarding that what are the solution, what could be the solution? I will say we in Indian Punjab, we are promoting millets. I don't know whether in Pakistan, Punjab, millets, what is the status of millets, but millets are consuming very less water, and when you grow millet, you didn't need to burn its straw. And second crop is cotton, organic cotton. What I am wearing is, it is a organic cotton, handspun,
Can you wrap up?
So
your
I
view?
think that the cotton and millets should be become the alternative crops. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mandra. So next, I would like to invite Mr. Karan Singh from KT Virasan Mission, India. Mr. Karan, can you just keep the time short, like 2 to 3 minutes? Thank you.
Namaskar, good afternoon. Sat Shri Akal to everybody. I'll give my speech in Punjabi. So, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੰਸਟੀਟਿਊਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਖੇਤੀ ਵਿਰਾਸਤ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਗਿਆਨ ਵਿਧੀ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਤਕਨੀਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਗਿਆਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਾਮ ਦੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਨੇ ਇਜਾਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਗੇਤਰਾ ਜੋ ਝੋਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਹਾਰਵੈਸਟਰ ਕੰਬਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੱਢ ਲਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁੱਕਾ ਖੇਤ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਵੇਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਛੇੜਛਾੜ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂਅਲੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਣਕ ਦਾ ਬੀਜ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਰਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਫਰਟੀਲਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਦਾ ਡਾਇਅਮੋਨੀਅਮ ਫਾਸਫੇਟ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਫਰਟੀਲਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਮੈਨੂਅਲੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਿਲਾਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਇਕੁਅਲੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੱਟ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਗ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਦਾ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਹਿੰਦ ਖੂੰਹਦ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਦੇ ਖੜੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਟ ਕੇ ਇਕੁਅਲੀ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਰੀਪਰ ਵੀ ਇੱਧਰਲੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਚੌਪਰ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿਤੇ ਕਟਰ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਕੁਅਲੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਫੈਲਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹਲਕਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਲਾਉਣਾ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਲੱਗਣ ਤੋਂ 8 ਤੋਂ 12 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਰਮੀਨੇਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਦਿਸਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਬਚਦੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਦੇ। ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਤਕਨੀਕ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇਕੋ ਫਰੈਂਡਲੀ ਵੀ ਆ, ਪਰਾਲੀ ਖੇਤ ਦੀ ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰਾ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1 ਏਕੜ ਦੇ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ 55 ਕਿਲੋ ਪਿਓਰ ਫਾਰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੋਟਾਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਕੈਲਸ਼ੀਅਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਮੈਗਨੀਸ਼ੀਅਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੇ ਫਾਸਫੋਰਸ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਨਾਈਟ੍ਰੋਜਨ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਐਂਟਸ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜੋ ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਉਪਜਾਊ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਵੱਧਦੀ। ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਆਰਗੇਨਿਜ਼ਮ ਵੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਧਦੇ ਆ। ਗਡੋਆ, ਅਰਥਵਾਰਮਸ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਬੈਕਟੀਰੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਆਰਗੇਨਿਜ਼ਮ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਪਲੱਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਮੀ ਆ ਖੇਤ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ। ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਣੀ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਇਰੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ, 1 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 2 ਇਰੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਘੱਟ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਪੈਂਦੀਆਂ, 1 ਤੋਂ 2 ਪਾਣੀ ਘੱਟ ਲਾਉਣੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਝਾੜ ਆ, ਉਹ ਝਾੜ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਬਰੋਬਰ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ। ਅਗਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਸਲਾਂ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੀ ਉਪਜਾਊ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਝਾੜ ਵੀ ਵੱਧਦੇ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੇਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖਿਲਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਦੀਨ ਆ, ਨਦੀਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ। ਚੌੜੇ ਪੱਤੇ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਨਦੀਨ ਆ, ਬਾਥੂ ਆ, ਗੁੱਲੀ ਡੰਡਾ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਜੋ ਨਦੀਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਉਗਦੇ ਹੀ। ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀਡੀਸਾਈਡ ਕੋਈ ਸਪਰੇਅ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਤਕਨੀਕ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜੋ ਪਛੇਤਰੀਆਂ ਵੈਰਾਈਟੀਆਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਾਸਮਤੀ ਆ, ਜੋ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਹਜੇ ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜਾ, ਤਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਕੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਖੀਰਲਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਸਮਤੀ ਝੋਨੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਪਛੇਤਰੀ ਵੈਰਾਈਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਦੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹ ਖਾਦ ਤੇ ਬੀਜ ਨੂੰ ਰਲਾ ਕੇ ਛਿੱਟਾ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਖੜੀ ਫਸਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਦ ਖੇਤ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੰਬਾਈਨ ਨਾਲ ਵੱਢ ਲੈਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਧਿਆਨ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇਹ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਖੇਤ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਪਾਣੀ ਖੜਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਜਲਦੀ ਤੋਂ ਜਲਦੀ 36 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਣੀ ਨੂੰ ਪੀ ਲਵੇ, ਉਸ ਖੇਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ, ਧੰਨਵਾਦ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ।
Thank you, Mr. Karan. Next, I would like to invite Miss Rupsi Garg, and she is from KT Virasa Mission as well. The floor is yours, Rupsi.
Thank you, Ziang. Good afternoon, everybody. So we have been talking about crop diversification. And in crop diversification, Kheti Virasat is promoting organic cotton. Green Revolution came to provide food security. We got enough food, but with that food, we got health issues also. We got pollution also. We have heard about groundwater, soil exploitation, all those things. We have got food security, but what about nutritional security? Do we get that nutrition which we used to get earlier? So these are the all things which have come with Green Revolution. With Green Revolution, we got monoculture of wheat and rice. Do we only need wheat and rice in our kitchen, in our plate, in our food? We used to grow fruits, vegetables, pulses, oil seeds, and all these crops and grains are possible in today's time also. Then why are we going just for wheat and paddy? So in the middle of that, we have found that in Indian Punjab, Haryana, and some part of Rajasthan, it is a cotton belt. So there are districts, about 12 to 13 districts, which were known for the cotton area. There was Desi Kapas and Desi Narma, both were grown. But as paddy came in, water facilities came in, irrigation facilities came in, that area got converted into paddy, rice. And we all know paddy's negative consequences, be it groundwater, be it pesticide use, be it crop residue burning, and all that. So cotton was not just a crop. It used to provide a lot of livelihoods to the rural people. If you look at our village construction, so in Punjabi, we call village as a pind, pind like a human body. In our human body, we have different parts, and all these parts have different functions. Similarly, in our villages also, we have farmers as well as we have artisans also. So farmers used to produce and artisans used to process. So artisans would be processors, and they will get all the raw material from the farm, because farmer is a producer. Farmer is producing food, farmer is producing clothing, farmer is providing raw material for the shelter, farmer is giving you medicines also in the form of jadi booties, medicinal plants, and farmer is giving you wood for furniture and everything. So all these artisans we have, weavers, spinners, potters, carpenters, blacksmiths, most of them get their raw material from the farms. So all this chain got disturbed, it is not just the crisis of farming, it is a civilizational crisis. It is the crisis of our existence. It is the crisis of our value system. Because with this agriculture model, we have disturbed that entire social fabric of our villages, of our country, of our world. I would say, be it Pakistan, be it any other country or any other place. So in that space, there was an important role of women. We totally forgot that. Women don't find any space in today's agriculture because it is highly mechanized, it is market dependent, it is totally commercialized. So with this cotton value chain of Kheti Virasat Mission, which we are working from the last 20 years, I would say, since 2002, desi cotton is being grown, but there was no market or there was no further processing to that. Everywhere it was BT cotton. BT cotton is a separate chapter and we won't have time to talk about that. So we know what BT cotton also gave us. It gave us farmer suicides and it gave us cancer. You know? The cotton belt is now known as cancer belt, which was a flourished belt earlier. So by reviving this cotton value chain, farmers are getting a sustainable crop, because in cotton you can go for multi-cropping, intercropping, you can go for vegetable, you can go for pulses, you can go for border crops, and you can grow fodder also in the cotton crop, but it is not possible in paddy. So if we talk about alternative and if we talk about solutions not just to crop residue management, but solutions to that main crop, because crop residue burning is just a branch of a big tree. But the problem is with that big tree. So we need to address the problems of that trees. And that one branch, which is crop residue management, pollution, and related to health, it will automatically get solved. So this agriculture model needs to be looked at. We should not only go for wheat and rice. So with cotton, we have all these options. And when cotton, I'm just concluding. When cotton picking is done, so a lot of women and rural people get livelihood. Cotton fiber is used for yarn and fabric, and cotton seeds are used for animal feed and oil seeds. So cotton is a win-win situation, and cotton crop residue management, crop residue is used as fuel wood. In our rural area, we still use chula, and in winters, it will be used as fuel wood. So in cotton, we have all these options. I don't know where cotton is possible to grow, but wherever we can grow cotton instead of rice, so cotton have all these advantages. And we have been able to revive this complete value chain of artisans, spinners, and weavers. And here in Jetto, Faridkot district of Punjab, we are running a weaving school, handloom weaving school, where we are training ladies on handloom weaving. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Rupsi. After listening to the story from India side, we would like to listen same story from the Pakistan side. Let me invite Mr. Sultan Ahmed Bhatti, farmer representative from Gujranwala, Pakistan. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much indeed. I would like to express in Urdu, as I may not fully understand my viewpoint due to my English comprehension is limited. सबसे पहले तो मैं आबिद कयूम सलैरी साहब का शुक्रिया अदा करूंगा जिन्होंने मुझे एक फार्मर की हैसियत से यहाँ पे मदऊ किया। उसके बाद उन चीज़ों का तस्करा करते हैं जो एजी प्रैक्टिसेस माहौल और ज़मीनी ज़रखेज़ी पर बुरे असरात मरतब कर रही हैं। जितने भी हमारे नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल स्पीकर्स हैं वो इन पर बात करते हैं रेजिड्यू को बर्न ना करने की, लेकिन फील्ड प्रैक्टिसेस के हवाले से कोई भी पॉलिसी या कोई भी ऐसा तरीक़ेकार मुतारफ़ नहीं करवाया जाता, ना ही इदारों की तरफ से और ना ही स्टेट की जानब से, जो एंड पे आपको जो इस सारी जो सूरत हाल है इससे निजात दिलाने के लिए आपको करनी चाहिए। अब रेजिड्यू बर्निंग के अलावा बाकी चीज़ें भी माहौल को पोल्यूशन में तब्दील कर रही हैं, मगर सबसे ज़्यादा मैं समझता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं एक फार्मर हूँ, और जब हम रेजिड्यू को बर्न करते हैं اور اس سے جو بھی زہریلے پارٹیکلز فضا میں سسپینڈ ہوتے ہیں وہ ہم بڑا اچھی طرح سے جانتے ہیں. اور لیکن ہمارے جو فارمرز یا ہمارا جو ایک روایتی طریقہ کار ہے اس میں اس کا کوئی سلوشن نہیں ہے زمینی تیاری کا, کہ آپ کوئی بھی فصل کاشت کرنا چاہیں تو آپ بغیر زمینی تیاری اور بغیر ریزیڈیو برننگ کے آپ اس کی کاشت کو ممکن بنائیں. تو میں عرصہ 10 سال سے اپنی مدد آپ کے تحت بہت ساری میں نے پریکٹسز کو متعارف کروایا اور یہ ثابت کر دیا کہ آپ زمینی تیاری کے بغیر ماں سوائے روٹ کراپس کے ہر قسم کی فصل کو کاشت کر سکتے ہیں. لیکن یہ الگ بات ہے کہ 10 سالوں میں نے بہت سارے اداروں میں پارٹیسپیٹ بھی کیا, مختلف ورکشاپس کا انعقاد بھی کیا, اور بہت سارے بچوں کو انٹرنشپ پہ بھی میں مدعو کرتا رہا اور ان کو میں نے یہ ساری چیزیں بھی سکھائیں, مگر کوئی اس کی طرف سنجیدگی دکھاتا نظر نہیں آیا. اب ریزیڈیو مینجمنٹ کی جب بات آتی ہے تو اب جیسے میں گجرانوالہ سے آ رہا تھا تو رستے میں نے لائف سٹاک کی گاڑیاں دیکھیں, میں نے زراعت کے ادارے کی تقریباً گاڑیاں دیکھی جو فیلڈ میں جا رہی تھیں, جہاں سے بھی انہیں کال موصول ہوئی کہ جو پرالی ہے اس کو جلایا جا رہا ہے. اب ان کی پکڑ دھکڑ اور ان کے ایف آئی آرز آپ کاٹ کے, یہ کوئی سلوشن نہیں ہے, یہ کوئی حل نہیں ہے. اب اس کا حل کوئی مشکل نہیں ہے. میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ جو روایتی طریقہ کار ہے اس میں جتنی مشکلات ہیں اتنی نوٹ ٹیلج بیسڈ جو پریکٹسز ہیں ان میں اتنی مشکلات نہیں جتنا کہ یہ بتایا جا رہا ہے. تو آپ اس کے حل کی طرف آئیں, آپ ریزیڈیو برننگ پہ صرف پرچے نہ کاٹیں, آپ اس کا سلوشن پیش کریں. اس کا سلوشن کئی شکلوں میں ہے. میں نے تقریباً کوئی 10 سے 12 ویریئنٹس اس کے متعارف کروائے. سب سے پہلے میں نے گورنمنٹ کے جتنے بھی مطلب فورم تھے وہاں پہ میں نے بتایا کہ آپ اس طرح کریں, جتنی بھی ہارویسٹرز ہمارے ذمہ داروں کے پاس پرائیویٹ سیکٹر سے آ رہی ہیں, سروس پرووائڈرز کی جانب سے, ان کے پیچھے ایس ایم ایس کا ایک میکانزم ہوتا ہے, اس کو یقینی بنائیں تاکہ وہ پرالی کو ایس ایم ایس کرے, اس کا سائلج بنائے, اس کو شریڈ کرے, اس کے ٹکڑے بنائے. جب آپ پرالی کے ٹکڑے بنا ڈالیں گے اس کے بعد آپ چاہے روایتی طریقہ کار سے اس میں کاشتکاری کریں یا غیر روایتی طریقہ کار سے اس میں کاشتکاری کریں. لیکن عجیب بات ہے کہ ان 10 سالوں میں سے ایک ایسا سال نہیں آیا جس میں یہ مطلب اس کے اوپر کوئی پالیسی بنائی گئی ہو کہ ہم اس طرح کر لیں. اس کے علاوہ جتنے بھی ہمارے ادارے جو نو ٹل سیڈرز جیسے سپر سیڈرز کی شکل میں آ رہے ہیں, ہیپی سیڈرز کی شکل میں آ رہے ہیں, اور وہ سارے کے سارے جو سیڈرز ہیں وہ ناکام ہو چکے ہیں, لیکن اس کو اس کے باوجود پروپیگیٹ کیا جا رہا ہے کہ جی یہ آپ لیں, اس سے کریں. لیکن افسوس کی بات ہے کوئی بھی یہ نہیں جانتا کہ یہ پرالی کی موجودگی میں گندم کی بجائی نہیں کر سکتے. تو جب یہ پرالی کی موجودگی میں گندم کی بجائی نہیں کر سکتے تو اس کو پروپیگیٹ کیوں کیا جا رہا ہے, اس کو سبسیڈائز کیوں کیا جا رہا ہے. اب اس کے اوپر اتنی فینسی پریزنٹیشنز دی جا رہی ہیں اور بہت کچھ کیا جا رہا ہے, لیکن مجھے ایک مثال دکھا دیں, ایک ویڈیو دکھا دیں کہ وہ پرالی کی موجودگی میں گندم کی کاشت کو فریلی مطلب اس میں سیڈ انسرٹ کر دیتا ہے. ایسا نہیں کرتا. تو جتنا آپ نقصان کی بات کریں وقت بہت کم ہوتا ہے, وہ بات لمبی ہو جائے گی, لیکن میں مختصر آپ کو بات بتا دوں. جو ہم فارمرز ریزیڈیو کو برن کرتے ہیں اور زمین میں ہل چلاتے ہیں تو جتنی میتھین, امونیا اور CO2 کا اخراج ہوتا ہے یہ ہم بھی جانتے ہیں اور آپ بھی جانتے ہیں. اگر ماحول کو صاف کرنا ہے اور زمینی زرخیزی کو قدرتی طریقے سے بحال کرنا ہے تو ہمیں اپنی جو پرانی پریکٹسز ہیں ان کو ری ایویلیویٹ کرنا پڑے گا. اس کے اوپر پالیسیز بنانی پڑیں گی, لیکن اسٹریٹ وے بنانی پڑیں گی. یہ تصوراتی ایسی چیزیں بالکل بھی نہیں چلیں گی. جیسے آپ کوئی بھی ایسی مارکیٹ میں کوئی سیڈر آ جاتا ہے تو وہ کہتے ہیں کہ جی یہ بالکل جو ہے نو ٹیلج پہ اور ریزیڈیو کی موجودگی میں یہ آپ کی پریکٹسز جو ہیں یہ ان کو ممکن بنائے گا, تو یہ غلط ہے. تو میں تو بہرہا ان کو اپنی اسٹیٹ کو بھی کہہ چکا کہ آپ میری فارم کی مثال لے لیں, تقریباً 150+ ایکڑ کے اوپر میں رائس ویٹ جو ہے وہ نو ٹیلج بیسس کے اوپر کاشت کرتا ہوں. مجھے 10 سال ہو چکے ہیں کہ میں نے کبھی بھی حل نہیں چلایا, اور اب بھی میری زمینوں کا جو آرگینک میٹر ہے وہ 2.45 کے قریب ہے. تو اب کوئی مثال اس کی دوسری دے تو صحیح کہ انہوں نے ان کی روایتی طریقہ کار سے ان کے آرگینک میٹر میں اضافہ ہوا, تو پھر آپ سنتھیٹک فرٹیلائزر کے बेदरेग इस्तेमाल की बात करते हैं, तो जब तक आपका ऑर्गेनिक मैटर इंक्रीज नहीं करेगा, आप सिंथेटिक फर्टिलाइजर के बगैर पैदावार नहीं ले सकते। तो इन सारी चीजों को आपको मद्देनजर रखना पड़ेगा, फिर जाके आप ये सारे रेजिड्यू मैनेजमेंट और ये माहौल की जो आप आलूदगी से निजात हासिल कर सकेंगे। सबसे पहले आप फार्मर्स की दहलीज पे जाएं। अगर आपके पास कोई सोल्यूशन है तो उसको बताएं कि वो अपनी फसलों की काश्त को कैसे यकीनी बनाए। बाकी ये तो सब जानते हैं, अब इस पे जितनी भी बात कर लें वो कम है कि रेजिड्यू जो होता
Mr.
है, जो
Sultan, can
फसलों
you
की
wrap up?
बाकात होती है, उनमें कितने न्यूट्रेंट्स होते हैं? उनमें बेताशा न्यूट्रेंट्स होते हैं, लेकिन वो रिलीज तब होते हैं जब वो डिकम्पोज होते हैं। तो इसलिए मैं ये कहता हूं कि इसके ऊपर ध्यान देने की जरूरत है कि आप फील्ड प्रैक्टिसेस को यकीनी बनाएं। बाकी मैं समझता हूं कि मेरे ख्याल से बाकी भी अब आप बैठे हुए हैं, मेरे पास तो इतना ही टाइम है जिसमें ये मैं इतना एलेबोरेट कर सकता हूं। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Thank you, Mr. Sultan. And I saw we have another participants join us online. Can I invite Mr. Anjum Ali Butter from PES give you view? Thank you.
Thank you for the valuable speakers. I'm listening. The messages, most of the problems, solutions are already discussed. Actually, in Punjab province, where we are dealing since long the smog-related issues, we have 5 million acres under paddy in 2019 and 20, and because of the post-COVID scenario and the better prices of the paddy around the world, now we have paddy in Punjab on 6.7 million acres. With the increase in production of 6.2 million ton this year, last year the Pakistan has exported over $4 billion of rice, and that's why the farmers is shifting to that. That's why we are basically taking the rice crop and the smog issues, the residues issues as a wholesome approach. We want to mechanize the rice transplanting system and the wheat planting system, and in between the two, we want to reduce the smog issues, because the rice is planted in Kalar area, which is the most populous area in Pakistan and around the world. If you see, our population intensity is very high in the dense area, but this is also fact that out of the total area planted, 80% of the crop planted in Punjab province is basmati. The basmati is basically the sensitive plant, or the day responsive plant. That is why it's harvested in the month of October and November. And afterwards, we have very little space to do such activities. And therefore, there is a challenge for us to go for the line sowing or for the broadcast. Most of the farmers in Punjab province are get less wheat yield because of their first option of broadcast, by simply harrowing the fields and just stirring the stubbles and then making the broadcast and then doing that activity. We are taking the residue management as a serious challenge, because it's hurting the economy, urban economy, the health of the people, the livestock, the flora and fauna, and above all, it has been mentioned by most of the speakers that the organic matter soils, our soils are exhaustive at the moment, less than one, and that's why we support the in situ management, the management of the residue in the field. But when we have to plant the potatoes or the melons or the vegetables where the farmers need a fine seed bed, then we promote the displacement of the straw from the field. And if you go to the Punjab province at the moment, we have maximum load of paddy straws around the field. And about out of the 6.7 million acres, still we are using the carrot and stick formula. We have more carrots, starting from the awareness in last wheat and rice seasons. We have given maximum awareness by using all tools. And then we issued notices to the farmers who have burned paddy last year. And now we are giving this smart subsidy program, as my friend Bhatti mentioned, that we have been promoting the super seeders. Yes, we are promoting super seeders. We are promoting smart seeders. We are promoting surface seeders. We are promoting the staff management system in our curricula. You see the production plans. We are giving all choices. And most important is we are promoting the Kubota harvesters. And we, if you see the last 2 to 3 years, the maximum use of the paddy straw harvesters have been used here, and we are also planning to increase its strength of paddy harvesters so that we harvest the quality and we reduce the damage. That's why we say that we are taking paddy and wheat as a wholesome approach because we require productivity enhancement, we require diversification, and we require mechanization. We have very less mechanization. And for just information of the house, the latest anomalies I have at the moment
Arjun,
is
can you wrap up in
720.
1 minute?
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am. We have only 700 anomalies recorded and over 133 FIRs we have launched and over 11 million have been fined. And that's why by moving around the roads, you will see very, very less burning. And this is also a fact that we are not only the culprits for the smog. We are part of that problem. But as an agronomist and extension agent, we always promote the in situ management to increase the organic matter through the mechanical means to and easy solutions for increase in organic matter. Then we have different type of options. This year, the crop, the smog we are hearing and sharing. I'm sitting in Lahore, where the smog situation is very dangerous. The vehicular emissions, the dust fugitives, the industrial pollution, and then we are sharing across 40 kilometers the Indian side, where we are receiving 7 kilometers long wind velocity is adding to the problem. This is not the problem. This is adding to the problem because we are having 13 million population in the city. The vehicular emissions are creating the big problem, and adding fuel to the fire is our side on the eastern side because we are seeing the wind from the eastern side. And that's why the government of Punjab is adamant to take earth as one family and air as one family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun. So now let's back to the panels on the stage. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Usman Manzoor from GGPI. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm representing Global Green Growth Institute, but I have remained involved in the policy development. I remain involved in the policy development and also implemented a few projects for the farmer community in Pakistan. So I'll just speak on based on my experience. So we all agree that we need to engage the farmer community while we develop policy. And specifically mention farmers, then definitely we have to agree that it's not only the farmers with the large land holdings, but also with the small land holding farmers. But the hierarchy of this management also includes the local government departments who needs to enable the implementation of the policy and have to work very closely with the farmer community. And for them to adopt the farmers, adopting of the technology by the farmers has to be facilitated by the local government departments and the if there are any funds coming either from the government side or from the NGOs needs to be invested in the technology. So once we talk about the technology or the information dissemination, it mostly goes to the farmers with the large land holdings. And the left out farmer is the farmer who have small land holdings. So how to address this issue that perhaps there should be a group of small landholding farmers, and if they invest themselves in buying a technology, that technology could be used on rotational basis. Or if there is an influential in their area, that person can buy technology and rent out to the to the farmers with the small land holdings. That's the element where we need to pitch in the resources, and then we have to engage the private sector collaboration as well, and involvement of the local, not even local, but research organizations and academic institutions, that we need to promote local manufacturing to capacitate farmers, because we have seen in Pakistan at least the GDP ratio, agriculture GDP ratio, fallen from 70% to 44%. Now it's 22.7%. It's already threatening the food security in Pakistan. So if we have to capacitate the farmers, we need to work on the technological part, and that goes to the mechanization part here. Specifically talking about the residue management, anything that is burning produces energy, and the thing that is producing it produces energy has a value. So that has to be could be reused in a manner that I've seen that other researchers in other parts of the world, where the residue of various crops have combined together and been converted into making of pellets. And those pellets have been used by the people living in the mountain community, those who rely on the fuel wood. So those pellets can always be used for making food and using fuel efficient cooking stoves, especially by the women, who is also facing the brunt of the health hazards of fuel wood in mountain communities. So I think that for every problem there is a solution to another problem. So this could be researched in a manner that could be used in an abundance, and there's a lot of potential in Pakistan. Once we talk about the policy enforcement, it's not this is not the I think appropriate way, that if it's creating a lot of smog, then the government is just inflicting heavily on the people who are actually burning it, but rather they should come up with a solution. They need to work very closely with all those farmers who are actually doing it, because they're not doing it willingly, they are doing it out of disinformation. They do not have the research capacity. They do not have the required technical knowledge. My brother sitting on the left side just mentioned that they need solutions. So if now or today, if there are policy guidelines coming out of this conference, how we will disseminate that information to the people who are actually involved in this business? Do we have a way, or we need to rely on the local government departments? Whatever is the way, we need to work on the information dissemination part, and I think that's the most important thing, because every problem comes with a solution, and if we are able to tap that solution, provide it to the people who are involved in the whole value chain, definitely I think we'll be able to resolve some of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Usman. So next, I would like to invite Dr. Kashif Majid Salik from SDPI. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's always challenging to talk at the end, because lots of issues has been already discussed. So my understanding is that for smog, there is a major issue we are talking about, that why it is so highlighted right now among the government or in the media, because it's a problem in the urban areas. So it's in urban areas, this smog is not coming from only from crop residue burning. There is other issues which are more relevant. The most important one is the vehicle, the transport sector, which is emitting a lot of emissions. There is brick kilns, there is 8,000 or more industrial units in Lahore. So there's a number of other issues that is contributing this smog. And particularly if we talk about the environmental side, so this changing climate, particularly this crops residue burning is happening many years, many decades. So it's why it is problem right now, because your rain is, winter rain has delayed till late December or January. So if you have no rains, there is no residues settled down in the soil. So that's one other issue, that because of your delayed rains, that causing the problem. So, and the second one is your wind patterns. Of course, wind patterns sometimes flow toward Pakistan, Punjab, and sometimes toward Indian Punjab. But right now, in October and November, the trend is toward east to north. So that's why, and also Imran is telling us that they have the early harvest of paddy. So that's why this is, we assume that this activity is happening in India, and that's causing air pollution in Pakistan. But of course, this is just a piece of problem. It's not issue that is the crop residue burning is not the issue that that engulfs the whole contributing whole in terms of air pollution. So, but of course we need to focus on, and I'm not going to repeat the points which what the panelists just talked about. Just I like to synthesize the key discussion. So while listening to all the three stratas or three layers we came across. The first one is the government, and second one is the farmer, and the third one is the private sector. So if we talk about the private sector, farmer, and we are putting much pressure on the farmer. Farmer do this, do that, and they use that technology or not technology. So the solutions are already here. The issue is that we need to change the behavior, incentivize the farmer, change the behavior, and also bring behavioral change in terms of use of the data technologies. And how the farmers accept those technologies is really challenging part. Because there's millions, we are talking about millions of farmers in Punjab. So my suggestion is that, okay, link farmer to the market, to the private sector. Of course, there are a number of issues our panelists have discussed. So if their money is involved, the farmer will ultimately, it's easier to bring their behavioral change. And second is that most of the villages have no governance. In India, the Indian participants tell us they have the panchayat system. So that is, panchayat system is very loosely, is also present in Pakistan, but it need to be more strengthened because if we want to bring some change, someone need to be accountable. And particularly, and above this panchayat system, the village community governance system, above is the local governments. So we need to link this local governments with the panchayat. So that's why our two observers has mentioned that while traveling to Islamabad, they watched 8, 9 times the crop was burning. Even there is a high awareness campaign is in the media is there that the smog is too high. So even people is burning and no one is asking them. So last year, and second is the important thing is the government. The government, of course, have a number of policies, but they have no capacities. They have no training. They have no seriousness to control the things. This is a matter of 3 months, and then everyone in the government can forget what is happening in winter, and then they just forget. So other winter and spring, other months, they're just doing other business. And when winter arrives, they just start working. So this is not the solution. So it needs a very systematic training, capacity building, and awareness among the public department for the coordination and effective measures. And lastly, the private sectors. Of course, private sector is for profitability. We need to develop the profit models for them. And we need to link them with the farmer that need very proper research and development with sitting with the private sector and the farmer and very tangible models for them. So a continuous research is very critical, because if you Google down right now, you couldn't find any very good research for smog or related crop residue burning solutions in the literature. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kashif. And collaboration is essential to address the multi-faced challenge of the crop residue burning, actually. So now I would like to specially request Dr. Dusini Virakon and Dr. Paras Karan to answer how these stakeholders can cooperate and how policy making favorable to the farmers can be formulated And I also would like to invite Dr. Rajan Sudesh Rana to join the discussion and to discuss about how the think tank can work on this. And the floor is yours.
Okay.
Thank you. I think the panel it's been an exhaustive discussion, so I'm going to be very brief. This is not an area that I am any kind of an expert in, but more as a macro economist, just looking at this issue of crop burning, and it's a localized issue, but it has trans-border impacts. My understanding is that there is no one size fits all. Different locations in Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, solutions are different. And I know that those solutions proposed solutions are from banning to mechanization or advanced payments on environment services to encourage farmers not to burn, as well as the other kinds of issues that were raised about how farmers can be more encouraged again to use the residue for other transform that residue for other users, etc. But the question that popped into my mind is, across the three stakeholders that were identified, the government, the private sector, and the farmer, all of this is going to cost money, because my sense is that these have been pilot projects that have looked at a particular solution for a particular location. But when you go to scale this up, does the government have the resources to support subsidies for mechanization? How do you tackle the differences between small and the larger farmers? The private sector obviously gets impacted by pollution as well. How can they be incentivized to share the financial burden? And the farmers as well. Banning the process of crop burning, my sense is that it doesn't really work. But how can farmers, given all of the other stresses that they are under, be motivated to use all of it? And I think from a research point of view, that is where research studies that are conducted in different parts of the region can help inform that debate and perhaps provide policy recommendations. So to me, a lot of work has gone into study the impact, but I still don't get a sense of how the financial burden of scaling up this to tackle it at the national levels and perhaps also at the regional level there is no solution I've heard in this panel.
Thank you.
Thank you. So from what I gather from the discussion is that crop residue burning are a compulsion for farmers, and it's perfectly rational for them, to be doing what they are doing. But at the same time, it creates negative impact as well as negative cross-border externalities. So when there are cross-border externalities, then there is a case for collective action. And it is to address collective action problem that regional bodies have been created. And to tackle this problem, national level policies are needed, which have been discussed. At the same time, since it has taken on a cross-border nature, regional solutions are also needed. So on the regional front, studies and analysis, joint studies and analysis would be very helpful. For example, in the case of Nepal, although 2/3 of the population are dependent on agriculture, detailed data with regard to the amount of straw generated or the burning that takes place by locations or intensity are not available. And data are patchy for other countries also. So in this context, I would like to congratulate SCAP because it has taken, it has recently did a study, which is, I think, a step in the right direction. And that studies and analysis could take the form of fire mapping, across the region also. Secondly, sharing of experiences from within and outside the region are important. For example, in the case of Nepal, straw and crop residue are predominantly used as cattle feed, and that actually prevents to a large extent, crop, residue burning. And straw and crop residue, for example, straw is used for handicraft production, and it's also used for mushroom cultivation, in some areas. And at the same time, there is a law that bans the import of combine harvesters that do not have straw collecting, machine in it. Right. Now, the implementation aspect should also be looked into. And third point is that there is the SARC Agricultural Center, established way back in 1989, whose mandate is to foster collaboration on agriculture. And there is a clear case for collaborating on this important issue, and setting up a common fund for research and development, to tackle this problem would be a way forward. And perhaps one can also link it with the SARC Development Fund that has also been established. Furthermore, capacity building and exchange of knowledge with regard to technology, equipment, and practices across the region would be helpful. And finally, some regional monitoring on crop residue burning and management. Perhaps a lead can be taken by the SARC Agriculture Center in this regard. And this final point is that some trade facilitation measures might also be called for with regard to trade in farm machinery, which is potentially part of the solution to this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Paras. Anybody from the floor has a burning question or a comment for 1 minute? Yes, please. Can we pass on the mic? एक mic उनको दे दें, please.
Can I?
Okay, I'm Dr. Ehsan.
Can I say something?
Okay, I'm Dr. Ehsan, PhD in Applied Biosciences. I'm highly concerned with biomass and the residues. I'm the person who has designed Biomass Atlas of Pakistan, and you can get the biomass information with one click only. So in your surroundings, it is available on the Alternative Energy Development Board website. So at that time, when I designed it with SMAP, World Bank collaboration, I think we have given some recommendations like composting, gasification, briquetting. And someone has told something about the briquetting only. But the other technologies like composting and gasification, I think they were not even considered for the residual management. Am I right? Well, yeah,
You must tell you did the study.
no, I have given the recommendation, but I have not listened anything like that, because the residue can also be used for gasification purposes, composting purposes, and briquetting.
You do the research for?
This-
Whom you gave the recommendation to?
Yeah, it was in the Biomass Atlas of Pakistan. If you check it, there were research papers also, reports also. So, by the way, it is my question that why there is no central facility to collect the residue and make and process it for the composting or briquetting or gasification.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, from the panel, I have one question. We all heard there is a problem. We all know the solutions. There definitely is a gap between policy making and the implementation. In the sense that we heard, and I'll come to the people who are online, somebody wanted to speak. One thing which is very common is, yes, farmers are aware of the problems, but they do not have a sustainable solution or easy solution for this problem. So how do we involve in the policy making of the government? Because one very good example came when the government announces subsidy, the price of the mechanical appliances or other things go up. So virtually the subsidy, part of the subsidy is used uh, by the manufacturers, and again, the farmers have to pay from their own pocket 50% of the money. Then they will not get into that. So is there a mechanism to control that, or what needs to be done? Where is the one small thing that we can bring a change in the government which can make it more effective? We are not debating whether automobile pollution or a construction pollution is more creating problem in this, but definitely uh, if we are able to, and these are also seasonal, if we are able to provide some uh, what we talk about is a circular economy, like that Professor Saab was talking about. If it is converted into something by which the farmers can make profit, can make money, can make business, which becomes an additional business, would be useful. So anybody has a take? We are running short of time. We have actually crossed the time, uh, but 1 minute burning fire round. Somebody, if he has, somebody wanted to speak from there, right? Online.
Hello.
Yes, please tell me.
Yes, Mr. Woman Raj, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
okay. Just I want to say that apart from, because one medical expert from Pakistan, she has talked about the health. I think we our concern should be around health also, because the environmental health crisis in Indian Punjab is really very devastating. Particularly, it is about whether it is about the cancer or reproductive health. I think the similar cases, because the pesticide load is almost similar in the Pakistan, Punjab also. So the cancer, reproductive health, and other toxicity load rated the disease crisis challenges should be the common concern. So it is the air, breathe, and health. This should be the common concern, and this should be become a common action point between both sides of Punjab, Pakistan, and India. And we can work together on organic farming, sustainability, water conservation, and holistic health. So I think that please make the health, environmental health crisis one of the area of the concern and action, joint action.
Thank you, Madhuri. Yeah.
Just in 1 minute, Dr. This is very valid input. Until we have the right mechanism to finance our growers, our farmers, it will not be possible to have any policy being deployed properly. As PepsiCo, what we do normally, we have a base price of potato. Over and above, we give growers a certain incentive on the sustainability initiatives, like putting solar, like putting high efficiency irrigation systems. And these type of incentives, I think we need to establish, and grower can use those additional incentives to invest on on those things. That now in at least potato, the growers working with us, they are now investing on the mechanization using those incentives. Similarly, there are many international funding agencies who support the growers with very less, you can say, markup rates. We need to have some such institutes as well to anchor and connect with the grower directly, who can manage these investments in next 2 to 3 years time to facilitate. So this is just a small input from my side.
The only thing that I just want to respond, the only issue is the political will. We have a political economy, and we should prioritize that. Even in rice, we have a sustainable rice platform that is United Nations Environment Standard, on which we are providing premium to the farmers. But what's actually happening, private sector should also own that it is not all that government is being done. If you are making profit, you should contribute by yourself. So private is sector is a power engine, and we should must acknowledge then when we provide our farmers that you do sustainable rice platforms practices, we will provide you premium. So farmer is willing to do. So we should also consider, like Green Punjab in Punjab, only a very peanut portion on agriculture. Most of the things are going on other side. So if we have a political will, we can implement it. And you do not give statements like we have already heard that if you just replace rice with cotton, we can solve it. It is diversifying our crop. Farmer is the best judge who will decide what is better. So we should give more option rather than imposing solutions.
Just half minute. I was just saying that we work with the usually basically the three tiers. First the policymakers, then the executioners, and then the implementers. Executioners are basically the government departments, the agriculture departments. We rely on them or keep our interaction just with them. We leave our interaction with the implementers who are basically responsible to provide, to ensure food security for every country. So if there are even 1 lakh farmers in the country, there should be mandatory training for every farmer. There should be training facilitation centers through the local government departments who should be able to provide training to the farmers and followed up with the technology. Because we cannot just leave the farmers without any proper trainings and equipment and considering that, okay, we're not going to face food security. So there has to be a proper mechanism and the government has to enforce. First, they have to capacitate the farmers and then they need to ensure the enforcement.
Thanks to all our panelists and participants. To conclude today's session, let me invite Dr. Rajan Sudhirana to give our closing remarks. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Jing. It's a very complex, and we had around 15 panelists speaking. So having a closing or summary, I'm not going to do it. Definitely we'll have the notes being circulated. But I must thank all the panel for your time, for your patience, to listen each other. All those people who have been online, joining in from India. One of the purposes was to make the farmers from India and Pakistan come on one platform. And I wish we would have more Indians participating here. But nonetheless, this is just a beginning, and we'll continue to work on this area to have more interaction with them. I must also take this opportunity to thank Mr. Junaid, Ms. Soha for organizing this panel. They have been doing all the work from behind. Ms. Faria, who would be doing the rapporting. And Jing, to you, thank you for moderating the session. And I thank all the panel. Thank you very much. Can we have just one still photo with all the panelists? Suledi saab nahi hai. Anyhow, okay, let's come here.
Online speakers, please stay live for the photograph. The online speakers.
See, I think we can leave.
Thank you so much, the online speakers. We did have the photograph. Thank you for joining. Now you can exit the meeting. Thank you so much.